Right, thanks for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on the front page of Nigerian newspapers. And I begin with the Nigerian News Direct. The major story here says, Naira redesign, Buhari CBN keep mum over Supreme Court verdict. CPPE Lord's Supreme Court ruling on old currency notes validity. You find all the details on the front page of the Nigerian News Direct. To the front page of the Daily Trust now, old Naira notes, Nigerians await decision, lament hardships. Traders reject notes, demand government's compliance. Other Apex Bank now, Ondo governors urge Buhari presidency, CBN silent. To the Abuja Inquirer, cash crunch. FCT residents await CBN, Apex Bank quiet since Supreme Court ruling. Private businesses suffer in first quarter report. Private businesses suffer in first quarter. A report is saying that. We move to the Nation newspaper now. Tinubu's pledge to Nigerians, I will not disappoint you. My certificate of return is a World Cup trophy, President-elect says in Lagos. Tinubu's pledge to Nigerians, I will not disappoint you. My certificate of return is a World Cup trophy, President-elect says in Lagos. And on the front page of the Leadership newspaper now, lobbying for appointment in Tinubu's presidency begins. Give us FCT minister, natives tell President-elect. You find all the details on the front page of the Leadership newspaper. Mike?
All right, I have the national economy here. And national economy says, Tinubu is saying tough choices to rebuild Nigeria's battered economy. Tough choices to rebuild Nigeria's battered economy. That's by Tinubu there, as quoted by the national economy. From there, let's go to Business Day. Business Day says 5 major economic decisions are awaiting Tinubu. That's the big story on the front page of the Business Day. 5 major economic decisions awaiting Tinubu. The Punch is next. Punch newspaper is talking about the presidential poll. PDP governors leaders to protest at INEC today. PDP governors leaders to protest at INEC today. PDP insists election flawed and APC urges peaceful demonstration. Residents fear unrest, hoodlums hijack. The police promise protection. All this on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Now let's go to Blueprint. Blueprint is referring to Ohanaeze Ndigbo speaking, and it says, God hasn't destined Obi's presidency for 2023. Ohanaeze Ndigbo speaks there, says, God hasn't destined Obi's presidency for 2023. Says, Tinubu capable, victory well-deserved. Hails Obi for unprecedented change of structureless LP and their cautions on use of Lagos votes to persecute Ndigbo. All this on the front page of the Blueprint newspaper. This Nigeria is next. It's still talking about the polls. This Nigeria. Battle shifts to states. 29 states to get new second-term governors March 11. 29 states to get new second-term governors March 11. All this on the front page of this Nigeria. Nature News is next. Buhari attends UN confab on least developed countries in Qatar. Buhari attends UN confab on least developed countries in Qatar. The Guardian newspaper is the last one we're looking at now. E-payment channels failed stress. Oh, sorry. E-payment channels fail stress test despite banks' 901 billion naira profits. Right? E-payment channels fail stress tests despite banks' 901 billion naira profit. That's what we have on the front page of the Guardian. Veronica?
All right, gentlemen, let's look at this story on the front page of the Punch newspaper, talking about PDP governors and leaders to protest at INEC office today. The report is that the national chair of the PDP, Okwoche Analyse, will be leading the PDP governors and to the INEC office to protest the outcome of the February the 25th election, talking about the presidential election especially. And the decision is that they are not happy with that outcome, and they are going to express their displeasure at the INEC office today. They agreed to wear black outfits and just converge at the Maitama office of INEC. But then there is also tension amidst those residents at the FCT saying that this protest could perhaps spark some sort of unrest and all of it. But the police has promised that it will ensure that there is peace and order. But then the question on the lips of some Nigerians is to what end is this protest? You have said you are taking this matter to the court. Why are you still protesting, Sam?
I think it's a matter of somebody who has been given a blow across the cheek. And it's not really sure who gave him the blow and whether he can see his way forward or whether the way forward is in front.
Is really forward or backward?
So I think PDP is still having a concussion on the brain, and they're still trying to sort out the nature of the affliction. So that's why on one hand they are going to court, on the other hand they are going to
protest.
And then they're going to show a funereal fashion show by wearing black.
By wearing blacks, eh?
Well, the Bible says that to obey is better than sacrifice. What was all this wahala? They had opportunity to win this election. All they needed to do was to have gone into alliance with their people, put their parties together. They had the G5, they couldn't make peace with them. They had Kwakwaso going away, they couldn't make peace with him. And they had Obi,
yes,
who was part of them. They couldn't bring him back home. When they could have worked together and won the election, they're not crying after the whole milk has poured into the gutter. And now they're crying, and it's nothing interesting as far as I'm concerned. The only thing that we should watch out for is that it should not snowball into some form of social unrest. It's not easy to lose an election. It's very painful. This is PDP losing in three straight election cycle. It's not funny for them anymore. They had it in the first three, and now they're losing it in the last three. It's not funny. I can understand where they're coming from, but if you say you want to go and protest in front of INEC, well, it's good to go and protest, but what are you doing with your lucky? They probably don't have confidence in the lucky. I mean, the idea of going to court has become something of a right of democracy to them. If you lose, okay, you have to go to court. And then let's pay some lawyers some money, let them be happy, and then let us console ourselves that maybe somehow we'll get judgment. If we don't get judgment, then we'll start crying again.
Well, the point there is, as far as the Constitution is concerned, they have the right to protest.
Absolutely.
Peacefully. Peacefully. They have the right to protest, and they want to exercise that right. No problem. They have the time, they have the space, they have the resources to gather. No problem. At least it's time for them to ventilate whatever has made them unhappy. However, let's go to the fundamentals. Like Sam has said, PDP actually had the time to make amends and position themselves to win this election. And they didn't do that because of the interests and the part of the interest garnished with ego here and there. They couldn't put that together. Now, in fact, in the build-up few weeks or months to the election, those who saw from their crystal balls didn't even know PDP would even garner this kind of votes.
Right.
Nobody even expected, because it was more like a fight between APC and the Labour Party. From what we saw, only on the ground that, okay, PDP still had some states at that time. So one would expect that, okay, you're going to use the might and the resources and or whatever the resources in human, in votes and whatever of those states, which played out that way. However, now that it has happened like this, I know that the leader of the PDP knows the system, knows the process so well. Atiku Abubakar knows more than this.
It's interesting that he's not mentioned as being part of the protest.
No, the point there is he mustn't be part of it. Everybody who is doing it on his behalf. So the point there is, go to court. That is the only legal means or process by which you can air your grievances for anything to be a change. They said they have evidence. Pack all the evidence, put them in fact, if you want to drive them in a truck, the court is ready to accept them. Drive them to the truck, tender them there, and then the court will look at them. Labour Party also say they have a truckload of evidence. They'll go to court. Or everybody go to court. That's the only acceptable. The protest on the street, from what happened in 2 or 3 years ago during the NSAS, where hoodlums easily took advantage of some of these things, it is not advisable for people to gather in that kind of number, especially when the agitations are filled with emotions and sentiments and so on and so on. The best thing is just pack your things, go to court. In fact, if you want to go with mattress and pillow, you can sleep there. The court will accept. The court will not chase you away. Go there, tender your whatever. Let the court look at them. If there are evidence enough to obtain whatever according to your prayer, then it happens. If the court says no, from what you have brought here, it doesn't. You go and leave everything to God and then prepare for the next election. I believe that everybody has learned lessons from this election.
Well,
those who won, those who lost, I believe they have all learned where they have to prepare for the next election. They know what to do and how to ensure that they get whatever they want.
The thing about the election is that there's a lot of hypocrisy everywhere. All of them have agents there. The agents knew what the figures were.
Well,
you know, they took them from one place to the other. There are places where we saw irregularities. And everybody knows what the law calls for is substantial compliance. And so they know what it is. So all this cry about IREV or no IREV, we still want INEC to come out and tell us whether who were the ones that tried to compromise the
Potter.
Yes.
All right, let's wait until INEC speaks to us, but now we need to quickly move forward.